Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 33 of the Diz Unlimited podcast. What?
Podcast?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 33 of the Diz Unlimited podcast, coming to you live from the studio that dreams built. I am Rhino, and this is the first time I've read words, and I will be leading our Disney discussion today. Joining me for the conversation is Hannah Anderson.
Hey, y'all. It's a good thing I don't have to read words, just saying. Okay, back
you
to
better watch yourself. You'll be reading words. You'll be reading some words. And it'll be, Hannah was rude to me today.
Yeah. Oh, no, not true.
It'll be a note that I hand you passive-aggressively. And Craig Williams.
Oh, hello.
The master of passive aggression himself. Nailed it.
Okay.
All right, well.
There you go. That was kind of
heavy
passive.
sigh. Before we get too far into this, just want to remind everybody that this and everything that we do here is brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel. They're experts at helping you plan the perfect Disney vacation. And when you book with them, it costs you nothing extra on your trip. You help support the channel and all the content that we produce. So check them out at dreamsunlimitedtravel.com, where you can get a free, no obligation quote today. That's right. You heard me. Free, no obligation. It means you can get the quote and then be like, not for me.
See ya.
Yeah, see you. Bye. Ghost. Also, a big shout out to our Patreon supporters. We couldn't do it without you. If you want to learn more about how you can get exclusive content from different members of the Diz team, like our Patreon post show that immediately follows this recording, and we do that live afterwards. And honestly, sometimes it's filthy. So you want to hear bad words and how weird we really are in real life, you can head over to patreon.com/DizUnlimited. I apologize.
I like that plug for that. That was good. Yeah.
Welcome to our live viewers in the YouTube as well, YouTube chat. Please take a second to make sure you're subscribed. Hit the bell so you get notified when we have new videos, and give it a good old thumbs up. Thank you. Hey, happy June, happy Pride, happy Tiana's Bayou month to all those who celebrate. Listen, before we get started, I want to talk about this. And this is Disney related because it's a Disney movie. I saw Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and the movie was fantastic. Oh, yeah. So here's the thing about when you watch Planet of the Apes movie. I have no idea who any of the apes are played by until after I go, that ape was really good. And one of them was a Power Ranger, which was great.
Okay.
He was also in Jessica Jones and stuff, but they had dedicated the movie to his daughter that died, which was really sweet.
Aww.
But that's not the reason why I'm telling the story. The reason I'm telling the story is because you guys have seen the trailer for this movie, yeah?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know the ape who's wearing the crown, Proximus, who's what a wonderful day. I can't do the voice.
Oh,
I don't know why it's happening, but I swear, because the phone is always listening, I keep getting reels and like clips of this guy who is his name is Kevin Durand, and you may know him. He played the Blob in Wolverine in the first Wolverine movie, the Origins movie that was terrible. And he was also, if you watch Lost, he's the guy that shot Ben's daughter. Do you remember who I'm talking about? He has a massive underbite or something, and that's fine. Or maybe he doesn't, or maybe his jaw just dislocates. But the interviews he does, he is so proud of having found this gorilla voice, and it makes me so uncomfortable. And now I am upset.
You don't have a gorilla voice?
He so the really cool thing about this movie, welcome to my Planet of the Apes podcast. The cool thing about this movie is,
where's this going?
All these people. I'm just telling
Happy
you about
Pride
my
Month.
week, and it happened right before you guys come in here.
Gorillas.
Happy Pride Month. I identify as a gorilla now, which is one of the gay subsets, I believe. But no, he talks about they have like 6 weeks of like gorilla training, and it's really weird, and how he like found the voice, and I'm just like I was bringing that up because I felt like I've gone too far away from it, but I sounded like him for a quick second.
There you go.
Anyway, happy cringe. All right. Enough of this gorilla. Stop talking about the gorillas, guys.
I think they're apes, actually.
I hate to break it to you. Some of them are chimpanzees. I know that you very aggressively said I can't look at any of them, I believe is what you said to me.
Every chimp I see from Chimpane.
Yeah, and then he didn't finish this text.
You'll
either,
never make a monkey out of me.
That was really good.
What is that from?
It's from The Simpsons when they do Planet of the Apes the musical with Troy McClure.
Oh,
Dr.
Zayas.
Yeah.
Dr. Zayas, Dr. Zayas.
See, with Social, the only thing from Planet of the Apes I get, I believe it's the last movie. There's like one that's going everywhere is, oh no, oh no.
Yeah, I have
Wait,
seen
is it
that.
the one who's wearing the clothes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got the winter jacket on. Yeah. They don't really wear clothes in this. So this one is like you could watch this one and not having watched any of the other ones. I think it actually might be the best one of them, but I was shocked at how good it was.
Okay.
Anyway, highly recommend it. That's a Disney movie to go out and hit the theaters for. Let's whatever. No one wants to hear what I have to say. So let's head on down the Bayou for the big news of the week, Tiana's Bayou, that is, which has started previews, but not without some issues. So the attraction has been plagued with downtimes, and apparently anytime Hannah gets within 30 yards of the ride, it will almost certainly cause an evacuation.
Confirmed.
So I'm worried about
It's a
going on that
hurricane.
with her. It's the hurricane part of you. How sensitive of you. With all that said, that is, of course, the entire reason attractions have previews. So it's to hopefully work out any of these issues, whether that be procedural, mechanical, whatnot. I don't know. Hannah, there was a note in here about bantering with you. Do you want me to do that?
Yeah, so I'll
Okay.
just, I'm a scat now. No, I'm just kidding. I will give my banter. So I went to
We didn't have it in
a
the budget for that table. Sorry.
I got that. I went to a preview on Saturday. I was very excited. Some people did get to ride it. I had my preview window was 5 o'clock. It was not my preview. I got to go with a friend. They invited me. Very nice. And my friend did get to ride, and we were going to do rider swap. And I basically like ran through the queue because there was so much. Like it was working and then it wasn't working. And then because we did rider swap, I went through the lightning lane line. And as soon as I went to merge with the other line, they were like, nope, it's down. And at that point, I think we had like left and come back, and we waited 3 hours, I think. So it was like pushing like 8 p.m. at this point. And I had my toddler with me. And so I finally was just, I don't know. I don't think it ever came back that night because when I left, they were evacing it. Like they were getting guests.
That was Saturday, right?
Saturday, yeah. So that was like the first round of like friends and family previews.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, I mean, you could have done the smart thing and just put Owen in a locker.
Oh, I know, right? Yeah, good idea.
But don't the leashes, can't you like do a carabiner like clip onto one of the rails? or
Yeah,
something
right?
somewhere? It's
Yeah, they
fine.
had popsicles there. I could have just been like, here's a popsicle,
Yeah,
sit down.
Go in a gift shop and buy like the widest mug. Or no, they sell dog dishes in the gift shops now.
Oh,
Just
yeah,
get
there you
dog dishes,
go.
put
Leave him some
in.
water. Be like, yeah, the air conditioning's on. He's listening to music. He's fine.
Well, it's a good thing this probably won't exist by the time he's old enough to understand what we're talking about.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
Because this would scar him.
Hey, guess where he'll be living? On the planet of the apes. Oh God! All right, full circle.
I did get to see the queue, and the queue is very cute. Like I said, I was rushing through because I just felt it in my bones. I'm like, I've got a short window to ride this, and yeah, there's a lot of like great details, and it looks like you're kind of in her office for Tiana's Foods, and there's canned
spoilers.
food on display, and I mean they're out there.
I
but-
believe they basically said that would be the queue.
Yeah,
during
I
one
mean-
of the many Parks blog stories about it. I've only seen the small amount of photos that people have posted with
Yeah.
it. I feel like a lot of people have been either getting stuck in weird places in the queue or running through, like you said. So
Right.
I haven't watched a lot of stuff. I'm sure there's more videos out there now that show it off a little more. I want to see it for the first time as best as I can with my own eyes. So I haven't really paid that much attention. But from what I did see, it looks like the queue, in my opinion, is a massive upgrade. I know
for sure.
are some people who are freaking out that the Brer Rabbit, you may get wet sign has been just really dumbed down and is now just a flat, boring sign. But beyond that, what I saw was
guys.
3-dimensional sets that in
Yes.
places where before it was like
Nothing.
crates and barrels and
Right.
a whole lot of nothing.
A dirty like rug hung over like the railing, and they just had that like chandelier, I guess you could call it, before. But no, that whole and it's closed in now, so it's all, and you can see this from the train when you get around, but it's all stained glass windows, so it's all indoors. I didn't get to the part beyond when you start walking down the hallway, and it
Yeah.
used to be they were, I forget.
Yeah, you would see like Brer Frog on the left side.
Yes.
And now I believe that's considered like the salt mines that you're going down in with the attraction. Can I ask a question about it? They made a big deal about like the music with the attraction and how there'd be a radio that kind of like had the music playing, and that's where a lot of the story would unfold. Did you even notice that as you were going through?
I did, but I mean, so there is some great music, and then Lewis kind of comes in and does like kind of like intercom announcement type things, but it's it's a theme park and the train's going by, so like frankly, and I hung out in that queue area. Like the open area. Oh, by the way, the playground. There should be like that's gone. Yeah. So it's kind of a bummer that stroller parking now. But I hung out in the area for about 3 hours. And you can't really. I don't know how well you're going to be able to hear that, but you can definitely hear the music, and the music's great.
Okay.
So
cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's it. I didn't get to ride it, so
I believe that's all she has to say about that
sure
for the
is.
Hannah banter.
Oh,
Going
okay.
down. Hey, can I give 2 hot takes because I went to Magic Kingdom yesterday? Hannah's hot takes.
There's no note in here.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Remember, I'm not reading anything. I went back for the second time.
You will be. You'll be on your unemployment notice after this.
Oh, okay, great. Well, I better make it count
Took me
then.
10 minutes to come up with that joke, so you're welcome.
I believe she's an independent contractor, so
yeah,
it's kind of
I'm
different.
doing my own
She
thing.
chooses
I
to work.
freelance. Okay. No, I do not. But so this is the second time I have gone back to Tony's Town Square.
Oh, did you do the thing we talked about?
I did, and I went with my mom, and we got a bottle of wine.
Yes.
And we got the
Bottle of red?
I did. Yeah, it was hot, but
In
I
the
did
A
heat.
bottle of white?
No, I just did a bottle of red.
Okay.
I would have done the champagne.
I did. I
whatever
did that
kind
time
of mood
before.
you're in tonight.
Oh, is this lyrics to a song?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry.
But we did. We got the mozzarella sticks, and then we got the Tony's bread with the Alfredo sauce, and we
bread
had
was
a
good.
2:00 reservation, and we watched a parade, and Owen ate a kid's meal. It was a good time. Second time I've done that. 10 out of 10 would recommend. I just feel like I didn't say that enough when we did the actual review.
How far ahead did you make that reservation?
In the moment.
Whisper it. Okay, good.
moment.
I was like, I don't want the word to get out.
Yeah, I know, right?
I don't like
True.
that parade though, so it's really I
I know,
don't like
I
it, but I do
mean-
want to do what you're talking about.
Yeah, it was good. It is getting a little hot, so that's my second hot take. Is guys, it is
A literal hot take.
a literal hot take. It is dang hot out there, and if you are from somewhere not near this area, you cannot do enough to prepare. So I'm telling you, like, bring your fans, bring your
Do you
neck
know what
fan.
I did?
Like,
I bought another umbrella,
Yes.
But have you seen this umbrella that's going around on social media where it's the sun umbrella?
Okay.
And so it like it's a UV umbrella, but in the top of it there's a fan. Like in the umbrella, like the penguin, but on the bottom you can attach a water bottle to it,
so it's like a
and there's a
cooling
button
mist?
that you can mister.
Girl.
So it's a Mister Fan UV umbrella, babies. I hope you're ready to go to
Just
the parks
stay
with me
inside.
this summer.
Just stay inside.
I mean, but
at
if
that
you're
point.
going, you need that. Like this weekend, the high is like 98.
Well,
Oh,
I mean,
it's 99 on like Friday. Yeah,
Yes.
I saw it and I was just
if
like,
you haven't
no.
been watching national news, the entire
Planet?
the entirety of the United States is in a extreme heat warning. Like
yeah, but
the
it's
entirety.
But we got that humidity here. Y'all know about that, and you
Yeah.
know humidity.
It's the humidity.
Listen,
brings the tensions.
I blame
way
the
up.
humidity
Oh, yeah,
a lot.
100%.
I think right now Florida is just everyone's
We're on
in
fire,
that misery.
y'all.
Yeah.
The house
But
is about to burn.
I got
down.
another fan too, a backup fan.
Yeah, but you need it. Like I'm telling you, there is not enough, and it is like you cannot bring enough water. You cannot drink enough water. Go early.
That's good
Take
advice.
a break. Go to the pool. You know what I mean? Like it is hot.
Yeah.
Do not underestimate it.
Yeah, just drink your water. Drink the water.
Girl, that's not even enough for me. I was,
Bring your
sweating
sunscreen,
it out
drink your
yesterday.
water.
That's right. That's right.
Don't
Okay.
drink alcohol. That will dehydrate you.
Well, that kind of.
Take your-
Yeah,
no,
I know.
Thank you for that
yeah,
advice.
I
Just
I gave
here's
that
what you
Tony's
do.
plug.
One water, one drink. One water, one drink.
Yeah, that's
I know
right.
that's
One
not
for
the
one.
real
Two
equivalent,
for
but I
one.
make sure I do make sure I sprinkle that in there. Be careful of that.
Yeah, that's right. So, all right, enough of hot takes.
All right. Well, apparently there's been a lot of online chatter and criticism of Tiana's Bayou because Disney released an official POV ride-through on Saturday morning before the preview started at Magic Kingdom, and people are already pulling the attraction apart, saying it's subpar to Splash Mountain and that the ride-through video wasn't great to begin with. Some people are suggesting, wait for it, that it might be best to just wait and see it in person to judge it for yourself. I mean,
wow.
that is some left field. Real liberal talk right there, isn't it? Bunch of hippies. Bunch of hippies. I didn't watch the ride through really, though, so I'm sure it was filmed on a phone from the little part I did. It might have been a GoPro. I don't know. But it's a water ride. They're not going to film it with a really super duper like fancy camera that's going to let people like Craig do that.
I mean, that's exactly what I would have used to film it. I genuinely don't know how they did it, but obviously we're not going to show it to you right now.
I don't want to
We talked about the ride last week, showed some images. That's as far as we're going to go. We'll just keep everything, we'll wait to see it in person. But they went with the methodology of like straightforward for the entire time. There was a couple moments where like they clearly had a B-roll shot to the side with it so you could see a little bit more, but it wasn't like with a ride like that where you have so much happening around you. You need to be able to move the camera around to see everything. And I think that's what ended up impacting a lot of people right away is that they're like, well, you see this one straightforward, so it just looked like empty spaces here, empty spaces there.
Right, yeah.
Like, what were they doing with it? So, but at the same time, too, I also think that Disney made the right move of trying to release something official before everyone else. And so like we were given the ride through video ahead of time too. And well, as soon as they posted it, then it was all sent to anyone else who's from a fan site or something that posted it saying, okay, this is for your use. Go ahead and post it too. And just because for our media event, they did ask us not to film or take photos on the attraction and that they wanted us to release that. So it is, it's definitely not the video I would have released for it, but
we know.
Well, here honestly though, the thing is attractions really are just best experienced by actually doing them. That's what they're designed for. They're not designed for videos on YouTube. And I'm not trying to speak ill of those videos, obviously. And I understand how they can give people like a feel for a ride. We're on the fence about experiencing it, because as somebody who's a scaredy cat myself, I understand that.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it does come down to the experience that the actual riders have. So, and that is something in many attractions that is very difficult to capture in a video because it's, again, not designed for that.
I just can't believe how many people were willing to just completely throw everything away right away with it's like you watch one video of it, you don't wait to see it in person, it just instantly jumps to we lost Splash Mountain for this is an absolute travesty. And it's like what happened, what happened to just waiting and seeing it for yourself? I don't get it.
I feel like I'm about to go off here. Okay, so a couple
hot
things.
Takes.
I know, hot takes.
We need
it's that heat, y'all. I'm
a hot, a flaming knife to slice through the screen when it happens.
I know. Some flaming Cheetos fall down. I'm just get over yourselves because I did like Splash Mountain. Okay, I did, and I'm like those were basically a lot of those animatronics were statues that basically just barely moved and were broken. So I'm like, guys, these are beautiful animatronics. Maybe it's not perfect. Maybe the storyline's not perfect. It's not what, but it's come on. And also, I love that we get Princess and the Frog in the park now. That is a relevant movie. It's one of the last, what isn't the last classically animated Disney film. It needs a space there. So I'm just listen, if you're crying because you miss those robotic frogs that one of the eyes never worked, get over yourself and see it for yourself and then decide. Also, one thing, not being a film person, not having any background in this, one thing I've learned from this job is that when Craig films something, it's not just hey, I'm just really good with the camera, here's one sweeping shot. It is multiple ride-throughs, multiple camera angles. It is a whole thing. So
she also knows how heavy the camera is now too.
It's heavy, and I got my toddler's 100 pounds, I feel like, and I still think that camera's heavy. So anyways, I would just say, and I have to say the queue in person was enough to show me that there was a lot of care that went into this, and there are little Easter eggs in that queue. This was not just thrown together.
Here's the thing: if people ride it and say they hate it, I respect your opinion.
That's fine. Yeah,
but don't judge it just because you watched a video at home. I mean, that's like, imagine if that's how we traveled. Be like, you know what? I watched a video about Glacier, Montana. I don't need, or Glacier National Park in Montana. I don't need to go.
I saw the Eiffel Tower on Soarin', and it's crooked, so I'm not going to Paris.
It's awful.
That Pisa building? No, thank you. When they get it straightened out, I'll go. Well, since we are still talking about the attraction ad nauseum today, those weren't the only issues that people had. Apparently, the story is being criticized for being too simple, boring, and thin. For those who forgot the story, the ride is a sequel to the movie and has Tiana as a successful entrepreneur who is trying to find the best musicians for a band for the big Mardi Gras celebration that takes us into the bayou to round up the critters. This has left many frustrated that the ride couldn't just be a retelling of the movie, with many saying if it was a retelling, then we would have been gotten. Sorry, I edited this and I forgot words. Then we would have got the Dr. Facilier into the attraction with Friends on the Other Side playing right before the big drop. Apparently, the idea of dropping 50 feet down a hill just doesn't build enough tension, and the ride is lacking tension by not having a villain or a dark moment. But I don't know about that because, I mean, does Winnie the Pooh have a dark moment? I mean, I guess the Heffalumps.
Yeah.
Jungle Cruise didn't have one. Country Bear doesn't have one. Small World doesn't have one. So there are other attractions where there aren't dark and villainous moments, but again, I haven't ridden the attraction, so I don't know. And also, like, if people, I think about like the first time I did this attraction, like I could always see the drop outside when I was a kid, so I never did it when I was a kid. I didn't do it till I moved here, so I think I was like 24 by the time I finally did it, and it was one of those where I was like, wow, there was so much I missed in this ride.
Almost extra attraction in there.
And honestly, like when I was a little kid, I didn't like the things that hyped up those scary moments of the ride, making them even scarier when I was a kid. You know, now as an adult, it's like, oh, that's that fun sort of thing to it, but you know, so I don't think it always needs to be like just because something is the movement and the drop or the whatever is exciting. Look at Guardians of the Galaxy. That's not really that's not supposed to be scary necessarily, and all that's like a roller coaster, like swinging around and stuff. And so, you know, or the other Guardians of the Galaxy ride. The reason why I love the one in California, the Mission Breakout, is because it is all about just laughing and having fun,
putting your hands up.
Yeah, every scene is like a joke, has a joke in it. And so it's like, I like the idea that I'm laughing more than being like terrified that I'm going to die. Yeah. And so I don't really agree with that narrative. I do get that people thought up that Dr. Facilier could be there, and that's fine, but that's the road they chose not to go.
They've been saying literally the entire time that he's not there, and I don't know if people just continually missed it. I don't know if they ignored it. I don't know if they thought they would change their minds.
What was the story of the other ride? The rabbit, the fox was just trying to eat the rabbit?
The story of Splash Mountain is Brer Rabbit he was bored with his life, wanting to go out, find excitement and adventure, find his laughing place. Found his laughing place, but got caught by Brer Fox and Brer Bear, and eventually found out that home was actually the best place all along, and the grass is greener on the other side. So with this one, conflict. I mean, technically there is. Either, yeah, you know what? To each their own. For me, with conflict, it's like technically there is conflict in it. Are the stakes high? No. The conflict is we need a band, and we need to go find people. The conflict is I need a band. I don't have band members. That is technically a problem they are trying to solve because it's not a scary problem. I think a lot of people are judgmental on it, but like I hate that structure of it. But ultimately, I'm like, at this point in time,
how complicated do you want it to be?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
A third act twist?
Are you? Or it's like The Voice, where they're like, actually, we're gonna throw you down the briar patch because you're terrible. You don't get to join the band.
My best thing that I keep saying is when people are like, you know, it's what if my kids didn't see the drop and they don't know that it's coming? It's like what in what reality can you lead? Okay, so maybe a first-time person.
No.
You're taking them on the Walt Disney World Railroad as soon as they enter, taking it around, getting off at Frontierland, and you avoid it that way. And that's how they get on the ride.
No, that's
never knowing.
Hey,
but ultimately,
guess what? Sandy Clavin did that to me. Not Small World, but it was one at like Six Flags or something like that, or Candy Be Like, I don't know where it was. And I never forgave her because she lied about there not being a
my
drop.
mom was that mom. She was like, you'll love it. It's fine. It's fine.
I was just like, death.
You know what?
Get on the coaster.
People are terrified of drops, and I get that. There are some people who ride and they get to the bottom of the hill, and that was the worst thing in the world for them, and it was terrifying and awful.
Scary.
But I think the opposite. I think the entire reason of thrill rides and roller coasters is it elicits excitement from you.
Right.
And that's the ultimate thing.
You're not going to get hurt.
You get from it. So why
maybe.
do you
the boat
need
might sink, but...
to build? Why do you need to build the tension going up? From a story perspective, I understand why people want it. They want the scary before the happy relief at the end. But ultimately, I know. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up.
Can I give a counter?
You like to hook up with a lot of clowns or something?
Oh my gosh! Can I give a counterpoint really quick? Is like I totally agree with all of this, but no, don't. But I will say sometimes Disney just takes things far. So like I feel this way about Batu. I'm like, just give me Star Wars, just give me Ha. I know you guys feel differently, but sometimes I'm on
like, I don't feel as strongly as him. I'm like,
let's not go down that road, but I love Radiator Springs in Cars Land because it is literal. I am in the movie. So I do get that. I would have liked to have seen more Charlotte. I would have liked to have seen more Naveen. I would have liked to have seen more Big Daddy. But we knew we weren't going to get that because what was everything leading up to this attraction? The critters and their backstories and their family tree and their genealogy and their blood type.
So they made the attraction about the animals.
Yeah,
the attraction was already about the animals, and people were upset because they wanted the attraction that was about animals, and now it's an attraction about animals.
Yeah, we want Brer, skunk, rabbit, dog, cat.
But here's the
there's
thing.
no winning with people. I think is the answer to that.
Yeah, and in terms of like the movie, they spent most of the movie as frickin' frogs. So had they done a retelling of the movie, Tiana and Naveen would have been frogs through most of it. So if you did want more of those characters, the best thing for them to do is do a sequel story to it.
Yeah.
It's just a different sequel than the one that they gave us, ultimately.
Yeah, okay,
they could have come up with something different, and those characters would have been in more. But to have more of them in the movie, we'd be floating through, seeing frogs, and then it'd be like the laughing place section of this ride where you have to get shrunk down to see the frogs. Otherwise, it'd be a little tiny.
Y'all, also, I got to go ahead and tell you, I cannot handle Raymond dying again. Like, Lil Ray, when he dies.
Nobody want to sing with Ray.
I do.
It's my favorite part
and
of
if
that
I
movie.
had to,
okay, one more time.
Mine is y'all from Shreveport. That's my favorite. But no, I could not handle that again. So, and I gotta tell you, not everybody loves. Like I've heard this. Like not everybody loves Dr. Facilier. Like not everybody wants to mess with Voodoo.
Across the way from somebody right here.
Voodoo.
Hate Dr. Facilier.
Oh, I like
he's
him.
One of the
but
worst
some people
Disney
are
characters.
like,
the cards. Don't get him started.
Some people are like, we don't want to mess with
Are you
Voodoo.
ready?
Are you ready?
So awful.
I like Keith David a lot, so really anything.
Yeah, I kind of like it too.
Love Keith David. Don't like Dr. Facilier.
Voodoo's really
what is your favorite Keith David movie? Interesting.
I'm not going to say it.
I'm waiting for somebody to.
I'm not going to.
Well, I'm going to start hot sweating in a second here.
Yeah.
Anyway, end of the story about it's a flume ride.
Yeah.
So guess what? There's a drop on a flume ride. I hate to break it to you. Disney is not the people that invented that.
Yeah, I don't. The whole story stuff, I'm happy that theme park fans are having such a big discourse about stories and attractions, but I feel like everyone is just like picking and choosing how they want it for their battle. It's either like story's the most important thing, but then you think all these attractions that don't have stories have been so great for all these years. So where were you there? Or, this is why Universal's going to sweep up because look at what they're doing with Epic Universe. Well, first off, it's not open yet, so we have to wait and see. If something goes wrong and they hit a bunch of budget cuts, then who knows if that park will be what it is. But I texted this to Hannah. I will stand by it. If you look at the past years of what Universal has done, DreamWorks Land does not compare to what I've seen from Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Unfortunately, Villain Con Minion Blast does not stand up to what I've seen. Race Through New York starring Jimmy Fallon, that's a no. Fast and Furious Supercharged. I will give credit to Hagrid's because Hagrid's is one of the greatest attractions in Orlando, and that is a benchmark that I don't, until I go on Tiana's, I won't be able to say, but I know that's a hard benchmark to live up to. And as much as I hate Born Stuntacular, I think that it's in terms of technology utilized for a show, they do an incredible job. I don't like it because to me, my brain can't see it the right way, and it looks like people running on treadmills in front of screens, which that's what it is.
I just don't like the Bourne Identity.
People, and I get that too.
I feel a little lost in it.
I love Velocicoaster. I think it's probably my favorite roller coaster at Universal. But in terms of theming,
it's a roller coaster.
It's an outdoor roller coaster. After the first section, you're kind of out of it. The queue's great, but then it's over like that. So it's like I hate even that argument of everything Universal's going to be doing is better right now. We have to wait and see. And
it's not better either. It's just different.
It's different.
Yeah.
I hate this. Like I did a. I don't know if it'll see the light of day, but we did a baseline tap house where I was kind of talking about that, where it's like everybody keeps being like Disney versus Universal versus, and I'm like, I think versus is the wrong word.
Yeah,
it's just like inspired by and whatever, doing different stuff. I don't want the same thing. I don't want the answer to something. I want you to do something different. Like, I want you to, you know what I mean? And, and sometimes it's successful, sometimes it's not. Like, yes, do I wish that Batu was like how you're describing? Do I think ultimately I'd feel better being like I stepped into Star Wars? Maybe. I don't know. But it is still cool that I have this unique land that is my own land. And I'm glad it wasn't a copycat of the Wizarding World of Harry Potter either, because I also think that's great. But guess what land I end up taking more pictures in at nighttime is Batu, not Universal. But
and I've said it with Star Wars that I know people loved Star Wars weekends, and I loved it too. My least favorite part was seeing Disney's attempts at Luke Skywalker and all these classic face characters, and I'm like, these look awful. Do not give me these. I don't want to see these bad representations of these characters.
That's a fair point.
Give me the creatures, give me bounty hunters, give me droids, give me all that stuff. And all that stuff can and should exist in Galaxy's Edge. So that's why I actually am more happy with that. And then, too, thematically, it can serve a purpose in that way. Whereas the Wizarding World, you have to go walk in and say the Wizarding World's timeless. That's why you can move from what's happening in the castle in one time period to what's happening down at Hagrid's in another period, or Dragon Challenge was before that, or then over in Diagon Alley, that's in a different subsection of the movies as well, too.
Yeah.
And it's all over the place. It works, but it has to be repeated. Well, it's all timeless. And that's why you can see Harry Potter in this place and that place, but you don't see him just walking around the streets.
Right. And you never will.
And you never will.
So also, I'm kind of like getting annoyed where they're like, what's your response, Disney? And I'm like, guys, D23 is in August. And they have like set, and I don't know what'll happen, but how many times we have to hear Josh tomorrow say like, we're pouring money into stuff and Bob Iger, and it's just kind of like...
Well, I was thinking, you know what? I was thinking about this yesterday.
I don't know that they're going to be like, hey, come to D23. We're going to blow your mind. And then they're going to be like, oh, but you know what? Because we're getting this pressure from Universal. We're just going to throw some stuff out in July for kicks and giggles. But I don't think so.
Also, I was breaking it down yesterday because I was thinking about how the next thing to go under will be Dinosaur. Animal Kingdom will get its thing. And I was like going backwards in time and being like, okay, before this, it was Epcot got its garden, whatever. But like before that, technically before that, Tron, and before that, Epcot did get Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
So they got it. So it rotates through. Like Magic Kingdom got New Fantasyland, and then they moved on to and then Hollywood Studios got Galaxy's Edge and Toy Story Land, and then they moved on to Epcot and they got a garden. And then they moved on. So now it's Animal, and that's just what they do. They rotate through, and that's what they have to keep doing because there's too much land, not enough time, and it's just that's how it works. That's how their system is going to work. They can't. The reason why the Universal aspect of it seems so much greater is because there's only two parks. They're not nearly the size they are of Disney parks.
Right.
They're closer together. And so this is a big deal. I'm not saying that a brand new theme park in the year 2024 isn't a big deal, but it does also seem way more massive than a lot of the things that happen at Disney because of this. I hate to say it, Disneyland is going to get the investment because of their Disneyland Forward. So the big thing that everybody wants, it's happening over there, not here. I don't know what we'll say. But.
Yeah, it is happening here too because they finally, Central Florida Tourism District and Disney finally worked out the deals, and I think they want over the next, I read about it, but I don't have the facts in my brain. I think over the next 15 years, an investment of $17 billion, I believe, maybe, in the Florida parks. and that's substantial.
Real dollar.
Yeah, that's real. It might be like 20 years. It could be a little stretched out further. But they finally, all the lawsuits were gone, and they were finally going to work it out. And I believe that's part of what Disney promised, is that they're talking a huge investment in Florida too, whether that's with a new gate, whether it's with just these land expansions and ride expansions maybe, but Disneyland is going to be a huge player in it, and it needs to, because
why not?
Why not Disneyland? And you know what? Unless Universal starts buying up, the surrounding sides of the mountain that it's on, that park is even more locked by land than anything else. They're going to have to get rid of the movie studio essentially on the lot to be able to truly, truly expand in a bigger way there.
You're talking about
Disney
Hollywood?
and Universal Hollywood.
Yeah,
So Disneyland, the bigger that gets, the more it can just be like,
take that market share.
Yeah, it's
Why
going
would
to
you
take
go?
out a lot. Yeah. So, but I forgot where we were going with all this.
I have one more thing about Tiana's, and it's really kind of irrelevant at this point, but I still want to read it because it's in here. So anyway, speaking of dark moments... So that segue went out the window a long time ago.
Yeah.
But another criticism people had was there was too much dark, too much dense Bayou areas where there could have been animatronics or more vibrancy, and it leads to the attraction appearing sparse and similar to Navi River Journey having vibes, but not the substance. This critique seems to be less of an issue for those who actually have ridden the ride, but we'll just have to wait and see for the best vlogger videos to really show off, as our Lord and Savior YouTube himself intended. So, but for real, this is why I don't like watching videos before I go on anything. I don't want to know what I got for Christmas or my birthday. I like surprises. It's why I watch the movie trailer, and I don't like to then go and like read the Wikipedia full layout of the plot or anything like that. I'm a no spoilers gal. I like the tease, and that's it. And that's that. So I'd like to move on from this if that's okay.
I don't think we're truly moving on.
Well,
though.
we're going to at least get off the ride. Our butts are wet. We've done the ride. Obviously, we're going to let you know what we think about the attraction when we get to ride it next week. But we're going to talk about something that I care so much about, which is food. Disney will be releasing a bunch of new dishes to celebrate the attraction opening on June 28th. And here we go. I hope you had lunch or a snack at the very least, because over at Golden Outpost, you can find, ready for it, hot honey chicken with sweet potato fries. So these are chicken nuggets tossed in hot sauce honey, served with New Orleans olive relish and Cajun spice sweet potato fries. We got shrimp gumbo and sweet potato fries. We got Tiana's famous beignets, which are the light, sweet, and fluffy beignets with powdered sugar drizzled with honey. I'm going to read the description of some of this stuff, not all of it. My stomach can't handle it. At Pinocchio Village House, we have peach cobbler. And this is a cinnamon panna cotta, peach cobbler, brown sugar streusel, and whipped cream with a Tiana chocolate piece, you say?
Holy cannoli.
Wowzer.
Wow.
No. Panna cotta.
Oh, thank you.
At the Plaza Ice Cream Parlor, you're going to have butter pecan praline sundae, which is butter pecan ice cream topped with praline sauce, spiced pecans, and a whipped cream. Mama loves her ice cream.
Stop.
Huh?
Stop.
Stop.
Sounds too good.
Stop it. Stop in your tracks right here. They're also at the Plaza Restaurant. You're going to have Tiana's Chantilly cake, which is a vanilla chiffon cake, lemon chantilly, and fresh strawberries topped with fondant flour and a Tiana chocolate piece. That's a pretty cake in that picture.
That is a pretty cake.
Finally, the Friars Nook and outdoor vending locations near Cinderella Castle will have a Princess Tiana sipper.
Give me that.
While supplies last. Now, where do you sip out of that?
The straw.
That's probably the straw
Oh,
behind
there's
her.
a straw wrapped around
the straw.
it? Okay.
Yeah.
It was a crazy
Let's say you
straw.
sip from the straw, if I had to guess.
Well, they're really innovating over there.
The thing that I can't tell is that straw, what are the little ridges that wrap around the cup?
Yeah,
because that's
one
a
of those
crazy
cups when we
straw.
were
Yeah,
kids.
that's
a crazy straw.
Crazy straw.
Well, more Tiana-inspired treats will be available all around Walt Disney World, so check the Diz for the full list. I see you got some gummy frogs, and then what's on the right there?
Spicy butter toffee peanuts.
Whoa.
I do love
In
toffee.
critter package.
Ooh.
Yep. Gotta have.
Get that at Critter County.
You're eating frogs and bears.
Frogs and bears.
Frogs and
Bears
I-
beats Battlestar Galactica.
I can't wait to see the merch, guys. I am hyped for
You
some
didn't get your
merch.
critter plush?
No, I know. I want one. Hey guys, I saw on Target you can buy. They accidentally released it early, but it is like a plush of Lewis, and it's just so cute. I gotta have it.
I want one of those belly buttons that goes in.
Oh,
Yeah. I think my favorite merch that they're going to sell is not going to be merch itself, but they also announced the Mama Odie's hot sauce.
Give me that.
And they're also going to be selling some of the seasonings from Dookie Chase's in New Orleans that you can buy there to bring that home. But I need to try that Mama Odie's hot sauce because I don't think we complain a lot about it in our reviews, if you even bother watching or listening to them anyways.
Yeah,
but,
jerks.
One of the most resounding complaints we usually have is
some hot
we
sauce
are
on this.
ticked off about the hot sauce situation, especially when we are eating southern dishes. It's never good hot sauce. It's this watery little packets that Disney gives you.
And is it Tabasco usually?
No, it's not. It's the
random
non-name brand one that we're always complaining about. Like, why can't they just have Crystal here?
Okay,
I would rather have
guys,
Tabasco.
I'm just like heated today. But why is in every Disney park it is Heinz mustard, Heinz mayo, Heinz malt vinegar, and then when you get to the ketchup, it's like Red Gold number 5. No, I just want to throw that out there. If you're gonna do Heinz, I need to have some Heinz ketchup, and I need some Crystal hot sauce or Mama Odie's. I'm gonna have to start packing it in my dang, my fanny pack.
I just feel good about the fact that we'll be able to like be in Magic Kingdom and be like, oh, you don't have hot sauce? Hang on, give me like 5 minutes. I'm gonna
I need
run out of the restaurant,
$20 and I need to get to a gift shop.
Yeah, it'll probably be expensive, but I would rather have Red Gold number 5 or whatever it is rather than Hunt's, because I
think
mean
you're right.
Heinz is my number
right.
one. I'm Pittsburgh, so
Heinz is the best.
The hot dog capital.
I would die. And no, we're not getting into that one. I would die for Heinz ketchup, but anything is better than Hunt's.
You are
worst.
correct. Hey, speaking of anything's better, I did like the beignets that they had at Magic Kingdom. I thought they were good. They were not, I don't know what they were, but they weren't beignets. These look like beignets. And they look like how Tiana's beignets are supposed to look. And I'm happy because I do like the Mickey beignets, but like, come on, Tiana's not making Mickey beignets, so I'm glad they're giving us the traditional. I have high hopes for these babies.
Yeah.
And you know what? I am going to believe, I'm going to put out in the universe that we're eventually going to get Tiana's Palace. But you know what? I'm excited to eat. I know it sounds silly, but like I will be eating that gumbo in, that's 98-degree weather that I'm talking about. So I'm going to be sweating out some gumbo all summer long.
I guarantee.
That sauce might be a staple in my backpack. Add it to what's in your Disney bag? Hot sauce. All right, we can finally move on from this because I'm already exhausted by this attraction and it hasn't even opened yet.
I know.
I guess that's one of the tricks of the trade. But let's talk about the Polynesian. Disney has shared a new look inside of the rooms at the new DVC Tower at Disney's Polynesian Village and Bungalows. Just like the rethemed rooms at the resort, the new rooms are inspired by Moana, which, according to random people on the internet, isn't Disney-themed enough. And this travesty of a hotel room could be at any chain hotel found in an island destination. If you do care about the details, you could find cool touches like a carved manta ray designed by a Polynesian tattoo artist, complete with a hidden sea turtle with Maui's hook on his shell, and even a hidden Mickey. In the fabric on the dining bench has swirls inside of the heart of Te Fiti and hidden Mickeys. One big art piece featured on the pull-down bed in some rooms is inspired by the views guests will have in the tower looking out towards the Seven Seas Lagoons and Magic Kingdom, complete with an image of Cinderella Castle. And other rooms will have artwork featuring characters from Moana like Te Fiti, Maui, Hei, Tamatoa, and Moana herself. I think these look like they look nice, and yeah, I know people say the thing about the theming with the Disney, but they look like every other DVC.
They look like the DVC rooms that are already there, basically. Yeah. Because that's the thing. So the Polynesian is my favorite resort, hands down. So more rooms at the Poly, the better. But the standard rooms at the Polynesian are Moana themed. They're a little bit more themed. The DVC rooms are not. Like it's minimal theming. It is like darker colors. Like it's not as like neutral maybe as the new rooms. But I mean, can we talk about that view from the tower? Like, dang, why would you even stay at the Contemporary where you can just, have that view? And that restaurant that they're going to build outside, that, like, reminds me of Ama Ama a little bit at Aulani, and that is a dang good time.
I have never been to Aulani, so I cannot speak of it. Maybe one day. But I feel like it's not a shock to me what they look like because DVC kind of, I feel like, does always pare down on the overdoing. No, I don't want to say overdoing the Disney thing, but like we got to have a mix, right? It's something for everybody, right?
Here's the thing. I don't know if I've just been doing this too long now or if I'm too passionate about stuff. I don't know where it's at, but I am ready to rip out my hair and say, what do people want? Like,
I know.
What the heck do you want?
Yeah.
Like, do you really want to go back to the 90s when everything
All
was
carpet.
so over the top and all carpet and just clashing colors that seemed
Polyester
frenetic?
bread
And
spreads.
like, is that what you want? Because like, I mean, that's great. If that's what you want, it is.
Well,
that's not what style and design is anymore. And maybe
Oh,
it's great
two
if you want
snaps.
it.
Give us a snap.
Maybe it's great if you want it, but at the same time, like, it's moved on from it. That stuff looks
true.
tacky. It's like on our Patreon post shows. Sometimes these two that I'm sitting across looking at, they're like, you know what? We want a mid-century house with our love dungeon pit. That's in
It's
the
a
circle.
conversation pit.
Yeah.
Whatever. Love dungeon.
And if something happens in the
yeah,
pit,
whatever.
then
Yeah, what
Throw your
happens in the
keys
pit
there.
happens in the
Our
pit.
in the
antique
fish bowl, and just get your martini.
Well, you're not
going.
invited to the orgy.
And I don't
To
want
quote,
to be.
to quote Zeus from Thor: Love and Thunder, you cannot go to the orgy.
And I don't want to be, but I'm like, so there is a way to do stuff in a classy way and have that theming. When I look at these new DVC Tower rooms, I'm like, this is classy. They have it all. You have.
Can we judge what's classy and what's not? Honestly, we're ordering Taco Bell after this.
You know what?
A Cheez-It is classy.
I mean, we've seen a lot of hotel rooms, and I feel like
That is true.
I
That
have
is
gotten
true.
to the point where I can say now if something's tacky. When I went and stayed back at the Heartbreak Hotel in Memphis, Tennessee, 15 years ago, that was super tacky, but it was for Elvis and Graceland, so
That's right.
that's okay. But it's like I don't know what people are looking for in these hotel rooms anymore. I don't understand. I wish someone could point it out, because I look at Universal's hotels. Look at Portofino Bay Hotel, one of the most beautiful
Womp womp.
resorts. Their rooms are basically nothing. It's like, you have a marble countertop, but there's nothing about being in the
Italy.
rooms that say
I'm afraid of
you
hitting my
are
head in
in
there.
Italy. What's that?
I'm afraid of hitting my head and dying in those rooms.
I mean,
Because the marble
you might.
countertop. I'm like, this is where I'm going to
this is
accidentally die on a
dark.
trip.
I just don't get
no.
it. Like, Universal hotel rooms aren't over the top theme. They do have some, and like Cabana Bay ultimately is, but look at their value resorts, the endless summer ones. Those are very
they're
minimal in theming as well too. They have the beach theme, but they are not done over the top. So where are these destinations at that people are
Hold up.
like? I know it's old Disney, but that's old. We have to move on.
I got a counterpoint to this. All right, today's the day of hot takes and counterpoints. The Pixar Place Hotel, I feel like, is the best.
Yeah.
I feel like that's it, baby. Like, that is.
Yeah, I do agree with
It
that.
is modern. It is clean lines. It is still warm, and it is
I like the deep
over the
colors.
top theming. Yes, and it's like down to the signage, down to there is artwork everywhere. I feel like that is a perfect example. Give me that everywhere.
Yeah,
but I
but-
get this is a deluxe resort.
Yeah, you're also you're saying a good thing though with it is that it's not over the top. And I would rather they go under with it and make it a little bit more hidden, a little bit more subtle than just slap you in the face with stuff. And that's my perspective on it. The 90s are over. I don't want to go back. You're not going to see
Not for
me
some
in
of us.
acid wash jeans and bright
Are you
neon
making fun of
colors
me right
anytime
now?
soon. Absolutely.
You know I have
am.
acid wash jeans and I like to wear bright neon colors all the time.
I never beat around the bush about making fun of you. You
Yeah.
know that, and it's why we love each other.
Literally, I'm going to take neon photos tonight. That is my plan. So that's fine.
I love it.
I was reading a Goosebumps book last night. It was Be Careful What You Wish For.
Ironic.
I can't let go. But I do agree with you
neither.
because we were at All Star Music, and we were looking at a family suite in there, and Corey was there, and he pulled up the photo of what it used to look like,
Yikes.
and sweet
Oh my
Jesus,
goodness.
was this thing
Yeah.
hideous.
Yeah, and you could make the argument in that, it had more music theming to it. That
Oh, it
wasn't a
did.
good thing.
That is correct.
That was not a
It
good
looked
thing.
like someone's yard sale in a weird part of Connecticut.
Yeah.
And no offense to anyone from Connecticut, but
You're
someone in
selling
this
it, so you don't
chat
like it that much.
said people don't want to pay to go to grandma's house for vacation. I'm like, that makes me a little sad, but that's a right description too. Like,
Grandma don't want to do it either. Okay.
No. And I'll even say sometimes this does go wrong. Like we have an upcoming contemporary review that we're going to do, and while I enjoy the Incredibles rooms and I think that it's a nice blend of theming, there is an inherent cheapness to it that I don't feel like you used to have with the contemporary tower rooms that felt, a little bit more modern, a little bit classier. It definitely feels cheaper the way they did that, but it technically does have more theme to it. It has more Disney in it now than it did before. So, it's not always perfect. Sometimes they do go wrong and they make everything look and feel a little bit cheaper in these hotel redesigns, but I also I like what they did with the Moana rooms at the Polynesian. I thought they were nice.
I'll say this: these DVC ones, to me, when I look at them, like the coloring and the textures and stuff, it makes me think of the sandy beaches and coconut water.
Yeah,
and
relaxing.
Whatever else Adele said in that skit from Saturday Night Live.
Oh yeah.
Ultimately, though, these things are still themed.
Yes.
Whatever preconceived notions you have of what theming is and what it should be, that's on you, but it's just they still are. It's just not the way you want it to be. It's not the same way it was when you first started coming, and that's okay. Things have to change. It still is. It doesn't make it. And I don't like to when I see it's not as immersive anymore. We didn't talk about freaking immersion until the Wizarding World of Harry Potter came out and they started actually immersing you in
Don't you be talking about those wizards on this show.
I am worried about your blood pressure, and we are about to eat a giant Cheez-It taco after this. So
we are.
Cool your jets. Let's move over.
Done.
Let's move over to the West Coast.
We're
done. We're done.
Okay,
we're moving on. Let's move over to the West Coast. Apparently, Club Pixar has been stripped of its club atmosphere.
Yeah, probably for the good.
Club Pixar. It opened with a DJ who tried to hype up the crowd.
That was so strange.
And dancers who would do artistic interpretations of Pixar movies. But now they've been given the eviction notices. Hit the bricks. According to Scott Gustin, the changes were made based on guest feedback and operation considerations. The games, photo ops, and other offerings in the area will continue. I thought this was a weird, confusing area. I think the Fantasyland Theater area in Disneyland Park was way more successful in what it was doing because with the photo ops, the hyping, the music, the characters. This spot just sort of felt like a little sloppy. I do hope they keep that little drive-in area though that they had.
Oh, so cute!
Because that was super cute.
And people took advantage of that.
Okay.
Oh, they are keeping everything there. They're just saying, you know what, that entertainment that we had, trying to get people involved. It clearly didn't work.
Make sense either because it was was it for kids? Was it supposed to be for all ages? And it was in a weird spot. That has always been a little bit of a weird spot over there, anyways. But
unless they just bring back Mad Tea Party from years and years and years ago, which was awesome, or Electronica, something like that. But no, this was the performers. Extremely talented. The DJ did their job to try to get people involved in it. It just didn't work.
Yeah, that DJ, I underestimate how awkward that is. He's literally just on a little balcony, not even near the stage. Yeah. You're just what is that man doing?
Yeah.
Oh, when we were there for the preview, they started talking, and we couldn't even find it. We're like, where is this? God?
I didn't even know. I didn't know somebody could even be up there. That's why I was like, other than that Marvel stunt show they used to do over there, where
I forgot about that.
They just started screaming "Sanctuary."
We need. What were we yelling? I'm Al Pacino and I'm in The Irishman. What am I yelling about? Solidarity. You need to start up here. But then you end up down here.
Unfortunately, they missed out. If they could have kept it going into Pride, then they could have changed it to the Muppet Christmas Carol theme. With that meme I sent you.
You there, gay? What day? What month is it?
That's pretty funny.
It's an inside joke. It didn't play off well, but I'm going to post it somewhere.
I think it was funny.
I saw it, and first thing I was doing, I was like, I think the only person I can send this to is Rhino, and he'll appreciate it.
Well now we're talking about it.
Yeah. My favorite Pride advertisement. We got a couple minutes. We'll talk about it now. Because that's it for our discussion here. My favorite Pride advertisement I've ever seen is with... And he didn't believe me. There was a billboard, and it was, I don't know if it was even Pride or they had just legalized gay marriage in the United States. And it was a Chipotle burrito wrapped up, and it said "Homo Estas."
Oh.
And I was like,
we're like, we're just going for it.
yeah. So it's what we say to each other every now and then.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Usually, but
I'm allowed to.
Any other good highlights from the past week at Disney?
So obviously they had their one mighty weekend, or I forget what they call it now, but obviously referred to as like gay days here. I didn't go to the Magic Kingdom because sometimes whence all the gays come a flocking, there inevitably is a couple you don't want to see. And so I like to avoid that awkwardness and be like, you know what? I don't love Magic Kingdom, so I don't need to go there on Saturday.
It's a
Plus,
lot.
I knew they were doing the previews and stuff. And my friend went, though, and him and his husband had a fantastic time, and I'm very happy about that. I went to Disney Springs for a little bit, and what was nice is down there they have some of the Pride banners up and a couple of different like photo areas. They're returning from like last year. Like there's the Mickey hands like holding the heart, and then there is another like Pride Mickey with the progressive Pride flag, and there I didn't necessarily like have any treats. I like how Homecoming's like, well, for Pride we have the Pride squeeze bottles, and out of my backpack I pulled the one I got 4 years ago.
Oh yeah,
that is still the same exact one. I mean, it is a little bit different. Like mine has this like a Florida on it, and now it's a heart instead of Florida. So
I love Chef Hart's like, I'm gay. What more do you want?
Cocktails in a squeeze bottle. You got it, babies. And you know what?
Thanks.
I got the margarita there, and here's the thing: they'll mix and match for you, or do whatever.
Oh.
You know what? If you're not even a big drinker, the squeeze are in it for free.
Yes, for free.
They're so nice about that.
That's a good tip.
I think it's like 22 or 20. It might be like $24.
I can't afford that.
It's 22 ounces instead of a 16 ounce. So you basically are paying the same price that you would get one of these like 5 or 6 cocktails at, but you get 22 ounces instead of 16, which is great. So I leave them in the trunk of my car, and I remember to use them every once a year. Yeah, it's a celebration of that. So we did that, and then Sunday I went to Hollywood Studios, which has that massive stage up in front of it, which we have discovered is for Maroon 5. Will be performing there on Wednesday night for a private event for some like software company. Yeah. They had to have spent
I'm
quite
sure,
a bit of money.
I'll tell you what, with the humidity, it's going to be hard to breathe.
Oh my gosh.
I was trying to think of any other song in their thing and be like, I hope they're following the maps. Well, the maps will lead them back to you. But I did have a new drink at Hollywood Studios. We might have to do a little video or snack attack about it. There was a PB&J cocktail.
I actually have had this at Tune In. Ooh,
yeah.
Although I got a beef with Tune In because you used to be able to walk up and get the PB&J milkshake from the Tune In lounge bar and just walk away with it, and you can't. You have to have a dining reservation.
But at least there's this drink there now, so that's good. Yeah.
Well, I didn't do anything for it for work because this was part of my promise to the person who invited me. No. I got to go to the new Epcot Mickey and Friends meet and greet.
Oh yeah,
so,
was that cool?
Oh.
Did you like it?
I did like it.
Yeah.
It's very small.
Does it smell like diapers?
No. This is on the good side. Okay. So anything on the creations and that side, that's diaper side. This is the good side.
I don't know. It eventually came back. That was funny when it was brand new.
We knew that smell was going to come back.
You can't bury it in the bowels of the earth. It's
And I know there's plenty of people. I went for a cast family and friends event, but I feel awkward. I know there's a bunch of people out there who specifically invite vloggers or they are themselves vloggers and they like to go and cover that stuff. I feel uncomfortable doing it because I'm like, if you invite me to this event and I do even one thing that then looks bad on you, you're going to lose your job.
No, I never do.
And I would never like to do that. So I know there's people who have and I know there's people who have it, and we all know which friend probably invited me. You could probably guess. She might have even used to work here. But it's like it's really cute. It's very small, but it is packed with more Epcot Easter eggs, and I wouldn't even call them Easter eggs because they're blatant about what they are, and you can see it all through. So I think it's pretty well done. But I didn't get to see the stage area yet, and I will tell you though, from looking over like the little hedges and planters, it was not what I expected. And we'll have to see. How it goes.
That
that opens on June 10th. So we get to see it as part of our event on June 9th, the night of June 9th.
Next week.
I heard a rumor about something else we're going to see that I will tell you before in between these two. And if we do see it, obviously we're going to talk about it and tell you.
Secret.
I don't know.
Yeah, wow.
I don't know. But I sure do love bears. Anyway.
Hey,
so,
wait, speaking of bears, I was at Magic Kingdom on Saturday, and that was so weird walking by Country Bears and it being like,
none of the bears were there.
Yeah, none of the bears were there. Like, and there was I thought people would at least be kind of like congregating or taking pictures, and there was nothing. So I gotta tell you, like, it was kind of, I went in the evening, but it was kind of, felt a little quiet. So just saying.
Barely no one.
Barely.
They'll just have to grin and bear it. I don't know.
Very good.
Well, that's going to do it for this week's show. A reminder again, don't forget about Dreams Unlimited Travel when booking your next Disney vacation. And our Patreon supporters, stay where you are. We've got to get a Cheez-It taco, but then we'll be coming right back to hang out with you. So if you're interested in figuring out, if you're interested in joining us, if you're interested in figuring out how to be a part of that group that gets to hear about our review of the new Taco Bell Giant Cheez-It Taco, well, you can go over to patreon.com/DizUnlimited and learn more there. If you are watching this on YouTube, we'll just ask before you say goodbye, don't forget about hitting that thumbs up, subscribing to the channel, and clicking that bell so you get notified whenever. And then if you're listening to this, whenever you get a moment, if you want to rate and review us, that would be wonderful. This week's closing catchphrase was submitted by Kathy Blessing. Blessings on you, Kathy. Submit your catchphrase in the YouTube comments if you want me to read yours. You got to do it over there. Okay, I need this one for this one. Okay. That's going to do it for this week's show, and we'll see you soon with another Diz Unlimited podcast. But until then, remember, there's whimsy in this.